So, we found a bunch of huge sci-fi satellite dish things on the top of a mountain in Alaska, and they look like this. And we just figured out why they're there and what they do, and it's really weird. Hey everyone, Amy here. Our friends at Seeker went on a shoot to Alaska recently, and they came back with a story that we just had to tell on D News. It's about a huge, ambitious military project called White Alice. The US and Canadian Air Forces set up a series of radar listening posts along the Arctic Ocean, but they needed a way to relay information across the state, and fast. And that is where White Alice came in. Beginning in 1955, the Air Force and Army built a network of communications hubs that used a very new technology to connect with one another. Phone calls and other data were transmitted via microwaves, beamed up into the air, bounced off the Earth's atmosphere, and back down to a receiving site. The process, called tropospheric scattering, had, and still has, a lot of advantages over other technologies. First, bouncing signals off the atmosphere means that hubs don't need a clear line of sight to communicate, which is a useful thing in a mountainous place like Alaska. This way, White Alice sites could be 200 miles apart. The signal could also support multiple phone calls at the same time, something few other systems could manage. And, crucially for the military, it was secure. Once a signal is beamed out, it can only be received at one exact spot, making it next to impossible to intercept the signal along the way. Similar networks sprung up all around the world. The US even connected Hawaii to the Philippines through the Pacific Scatter system. But before White Alice was even complete, a new technology arrived to replace it. In 1957, the Soviets launched Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite. Interestingly, White Alice remained in use until the late 70s as a civilian phone network. And today, the military still uses troposcattering networks here and there because they're still really secure. But this remains the era of satellites.